John Danaher, you throw a Kiwi accent on it.
Yeah.
He's obviously a smart guy, but that adds points for sure.
Are you still close to him? Do you talk to him?
No, we don't talk.
So he's upset at all this?
I don't know. I've run into him a few times. We shake hands, but you know his general demeanor. You don't really know, like, you know.
Yeah.
I look back when we walk past, see there's no knife coming, you know. But I helped him hide a few bodies in New York, you know, some missing women. But we had a tight bond.
He's a unique character. I mean, he seems like a guy from a fucking movie. Like, he doesn't even seem like a real guy. You know, some professor of philosophy at Columbia who becomes obsessed with jiu-jitsu, sleeps on the mats, teaches everybody and forces everybody to train 365 days a year.
Yeah, that's an interesting fella, hey? Yeah.
What was it like doing that, like the 365 days a year?
I mean, I wouldn't do it. You know, I would be like, bro, we're taking a day off. You know, let me have a day to relax. I wouldn't necessarily do it. I mean, it was a lot of training, though. He can't, like, he wanted it to be your life, you know, like, and obviously it should be, but a lot of pressure to be a part of that team.
Did you talk to him about that, the philosophy behind those decisions?
I mean, we had a lot of discussions. I think, like, we were actually really close because I'm from, like, he's New Zealand, I'm Australian. I'm from his part of the world. So a lot of the time Australians visit, he actually has a tight connection with them because we have a lot of things we can relate on. So we talk all the time. Unfortunately, me and Nicky Ryan were two of the ones he was closest to before the team split.
And when you guys were training there, I mean, how beneficial is it having a guy like him around?
Super beneficial, and also not just because of who he is and how smart he is, but like he basically approached it like an MMA coach. You know, like MMA coach is always watching, is always guiding your training. Most jiu-jitsu coaches are participating. They teach you a few moves, they roll with everyone.
Right.
So to have a guy that approaches it like an MMA coach, where he approaches it with that level of professionalism, watching, making adjustments, I think even something as simple as that is a huge benefit.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, a guy who's physically impaired, where he can't compete, but he has so much passion for it that he pours it all into the athletes.
Yeah, and I think what made him so brilliant as well is obviously his college and university. He knows how to study, he knows how to take notes on everything, he knows how to teach. You put him in Renzo Gracie's in New York for 20 years when it was the hub of MMA and grappling. Guys like Roger Gracie are passing through all the time. He's basically in this position where he can just watch, train with all these guys, pick up all these details and have it locked and loaded, ready to teach in a perfect way. Like, obviously his game's heavily inspired by Marcelo Garcia. You know, like he just takes the really useful things and can articulate it in a way that's better than most of the people in the sport before him. So I think there's all these factors that have made him who he is and why he's so successful.
How much of a factor is this, the constant training, the training of 365 days a year? Like, how do you balance the burnout with the discipline? Like, how do you, like, because I think inspiration is almost, enthusiasm and inspiration are almost, I think discipline's more important for sure, but they're factors that can't be ignored, because when an athlete loses inspiration and loses enthusiasm, they just don't have the mental drive to push through like very difficult situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just lose the steam, you lose the engine.
I mean, I don't think you should do 365 a year, you know? Like, I think you should peak for events, have a period of time afterwards where you slow down, and then when you're not preparing for an event, you're studying technique. When you get closer to an event, you're refining those particular techniques and skills for that particular event's rule set or opponent or whatever, and we should, like, go up and down. And, like, I like it when you have an event, whether you win or lose, you don't train too much after, and you have this period where you miss training and you're like pulled back into it. So I do. And I think, I mean, even like, obviously Gordon's had forced breaks with health issues, but like, as long as I've known him and we train together, like there would be time periods where he wouldn't be at training for a week or two, you know? So it's like, I think it's like a myth we should all strive for, but everyone should be entitled to some time off.
Did you ever talk to John about that?
I mean, I would just take a day off every week, but luckily, like, I think he had some love for the Australians, let me get away with some things he wouldn't let other people do. So, I mean, I would be chilling, you know?
Does he enforce that, like the 365 days a week? A year, rather?
I don't know if there's a real strong enforcement, but there's like an unspoken, you better be there, you know, like, but I don't, who knows what it's like now? Obviously, he's moved to Austin. My memory is probably phasey, probably forgot some things, but yeah, obviously I'm super appreciative that I was a part of that team. But I mean, I was with like Lachlan, I'm lucky. I moved to Melbourne, I was with Lachlan Giles for a few years. I had a massive splash at ADCC 2019, and then I was with John. So like I've been around some good coaches, you know, so I think I'm a lucky position despite coming from Australia. Not as lucky as others. Like it would have been amazing to be like a Nicky Ryan, born right next to New York and got to train with someone, with the people in that team or have that coaches. But again, like we're all not that lucky. I didn't even train with a black belt till I was already a purple belt. So it's like we all we all weren't exposed. Because I'm from Australia, I probably came up with a time period in my city that was more like an older time in the US where black belts were like, whoa, never met one.
What year did you start training?
Oh, probably 17 years ago now.
And even back then, there weren't many black belts around?
No, when I started training, I just trained with my cousin, and he was like a 4-stripe white belt. There was like 2 people on the mats, you know, there was nothing. I trained twice a week. I didn't train properly for a long time.
You trained twice a week?
Yeah, it was just like, I didn't even know what it was, you know, we're just fucking
You're just doing it for fun?
Yeah.
What were you doing for a living back then?
I was still in high school when I first started, and then I was just flipping burgers at Burger King, basically. Then I did a psychology degree, just a bachelor's, some bartend. Like I had to work jobs, study, and do jiu-jitsu. So these assholes today, they get to just train. I'm so envious of them, you know? Like it's just the sport. Again, the sport's growing that much with the sponsorship deals and stuff. So they're much luckier.
Back then, how did you learn technique?
Man, I had Eddie, like here's the funny thing, I had Eddie Bravo's Mastering the Rubber Guard book. That came to me at a very influential time where I read the chapter about weed. I was like, fuck it, maybe I should start smoking weed, you know? So like, I was like thinking I'm going to learn some techniques, ended up smoking weed all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't work for everybody. It's interesting, the weed thing, because some people think it makes you lazy, and I think you're just lazy. I think if weed makes you lazy, you're lazy. It makes me think about the consequence. Like the idea of paranoia, like people talk about weed paranoia. I think it's like a hyper awareness. And, you know, Eddie once said this to me, like if your life is shit and you smoke weed, it's going to feel terrible. But if your life is great and you smoke weed, you're going to feel good. Like if you don't have any problems in your life, you don't have any things you're dealing with, if you've dealt with your problems and you're just like on a good path, then weed's good for you. But weed has never made me lazy. It's the opposite. I smoke weed, I always feel like, don't be lazy. You gotta get things to do. You don't want these things fucking with you. You don't want these things hanging over your head. Like that hyper awareness it's like part of my work ethic. You know, like the like oversight. Like someone is looking over me all the time, making sure I can't lie to myself or to other people. Like I have to do the things I'm actually supposed to do. That's my feeling about it.
Well, I mean, I read his book and I was like 17, smoking bongs, driving to training in the car, having pre-workout, getting ready to go to war, you know, like that's basically the influence of that on me. But it was good. I think rolling high keeps you fluent, I wouldn't do it all the time. Sometimes I meet guys that are so high that I've just smashed them for a round, but they've done one thing, but they're so like fascinated by that, like the perception's off sometimes.
I think that's possible, true. That's too. But I've always felt like I was like 10% better when I was high. I really feel like that's with quite a few things.
You got to try a couple beers.
I'm scared. Beers don't help me. Like when I play pool, if I play pool high, I play way better. If I play pool drunk, I'm not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think with me, alcohol just makes me not pay attention to shit. Alcohol for me is like, I'm not a focused person if I'm drinking.
I need that for sport. That gives me a false sense of confidence, you know? I think that's useful.
Maybe 1 or 2 beers. But drunk. Have you ever competed drunk?
I've felt it for sure, you know? It's usually not beer. Actually, usually a vodka soda or something. So if a fan sees, I'm like, nah, soda water, man.
And you've done that many times where you just to take the edge off?
5, 6 times. I mean, I had a couple drinks before the Lovato match because we had the Howler Head bottle back there. I was like, hey, come on, throw us some sponsorship money, you know? And put that up, but sadly not.
Well, isn't Howler Head owned by Dana? Doesn't Dana?
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, go sneak us a bottle back here, man. Put it in the vlog.
When you were training and you were learning from books, like, did you have any videos that you studied? Was it like, how did you learn techniques other than just books?
I mean, I'm trying to remember what books I had, man. I had like PJ Penn's book, Eddie Bravo's book, like the actual textbooks. And then I started buying the instructionals. Like I had Kara Parisian's judo for MMA. I had Ryan Hall's. He was one. He really changed the game with instructionals in the early days. So like stealing all his moves. And then I learned about the world of torrent sites, and I started illegally acquiring every instructional I could. And then we'd try to self-learn on the mats, studying these and then drilling the moves. That's really... So I was really self-taught up until purple belt. Really just focused on using instructionals.
And then where'd you go for purple belt after
Then
that?
I moved to Melbourne with Lachlan Giles, and basically was like 2.5 years there and then 2.5 years with John.
That's a crazy little amount of time.
Yeah, I didn't spend. That's the thing. A lot of people, obviously, they just notice when you achieve something. You know what I mean? So like, I trained by myself a long time before I was able to join any big teams.
What do you think attributed to your success?
I think, honestly, I don't know. I put in the work in the early days for sure. And then studying. And then just being at the forefront of the leg lock sort of saga, you know, like I got in at the right time. I saw techniques in the gi, like the berimbolo, that would just, a new technique that would wipe the floor with experienced black belts. You could use it on people you had no business beating. Those are the techniques I wanted. And I saw the Danaher guys use heel hooks, and I was like, man, if I, as a purple belt, can submit some black belts, I'm like, that's the way I gotta go.
And so how did you wind up training with John and the...
Well, I mean, I would just, obviously Australia's far away. Hard for me to keep doing that 16-hour journey back and forth. I wanted to stay in America, so I just started doing my camps there. That was the best place to do it. It was like 100 people in the room doing no-gi. Obviously, it had that DDS squad there that was awesome. Danaher focus. At that time, there really weren't too many places in the world that would take no-gi as seriously as those guys.